How's it going, party people? It's Caravan Dan, the guy that runs the Gaming Caravan, a tabletop event and marketing company located in Central Florida. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my top 5 dice roller board games. Now, these are games that just have good dice rolling mechanics in general. The way I get my results is I just put all 10, 20 games I'm thinking of into one head-to-head system. I say which one's better, left or right, left or right, left or right. I do that repeatedly. And a round robin style, whoever has the most points is my favorite, whichever one has my least points is my least favorite. We cut down the list because I play board games for a living. If you want to be a part of our board game community for both Central Florida and online, go ahead and go to the Gaming Caravan website or the Facebook Gaming Caravan group. Dice rolling and luck-based games in general are some of my favorite types of board games. So it was pretty hard to decide on some of them. Competition was pretty fierce, but number one surprised me actually. I really thought Rolling Realms was going to be my number one, and it wasn't. So without further ado, let's talk about my 5 favorite dice rollers you can play today in 2024. Number 5 is a favorite I've only played one time, so take it as you will. I played in Dice Tower East of 2023. It's Dwellings of Eldervale. I played it in Tom Vassel's collection, or at least the Dice Tower East collection. It was such a good experience, very interesting situations you can get into. I played with some good people. It was my first time playing a game with them ever, actually, and it created a group that we've actually played during Dice Tower East 2024, and we still play BGA stuff online. We have a nice text group, and it was a great way to bond everyone. So that is completely irrelevant to the game itself. The game is fantastic. It's literally all about the dice, all about some worker placement type stuff. Has so many unique mechanics, has a very interesting, almost Cthulhu-like theme to it. You can hire beasts, they're beasts attacking like this giant countryscape or something like that. Truly, it is hard to describe without actually having the video, so go ahead and look into it yourself if you're interested. The Super Deluxe version costs like, what, $200 or $300. You don't really need all that stuff, like the flashy bases with sound. We maybe use that, what, 5 times the whole game, maybe. It's definitely not a common thing. So go ahead, and if you want to get the game, definitely try out the deluxe version, or just get the base version for yourself. It is not something you would regret. The one main complaint I've heard from people is one of my favorite parts of that game. For someone who just rolls poorly in general, if that even exists, it's pretty hard to have like a sum of my dice beat someone else's sum. In this game, you like all roll whatever dice you're gonna roll, and it doesn't matter if someone has like 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. If I have all ones but 1, 6, I win. Whoever has the highest number in all the dice wins most of the combats. There are some ways to mitigate the dice and all that stuff, as any good game usually does. So definitely look into it if you're interested in dice rollers with a pretty unique combat-esque act. Number 4, we have Champions of Midgard, another game I've only played one time, but it's a fantastic game. I cannot understand how many games have Viking themes and how they're almost all bangers. There's Blood Rage, which is a great game. There's Champions of Midgard, which is a great game. There's a few others that are also good games. I can't think of a single bad Viking-esque board game. Champions of Midgard is a fantastic resource management system. The combat's pretty interesting. There's spears and there's axes, and then there's different kinds of combat damage you can do. You also, I think, roll for resources. It's also a fantastic worker placement, so if you want to find out my favorite worker placements, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to find the future videos. Comment what your top 5 dice roller board games are, and make sure to stay tuned so you can find out my top 5 worker placements. But Champions of Midgard is a fantastic game. The expansion apparently only makes it better. I haven't played it yet myself. I have heard great things about it. If Blood Rage is a little bit too thinky for you, or maybe you feel like it's a little bit too much memorization, like myself, go ahead and definitely check out this fantastic other Viking type game, Champions of Midgard. There is a prequel to it. I don't know, it's something of Midgard. There's a sequel. And then now Aaron, I believe, from Coliseum Comics here in Central Florida, he created the card game for Reavers of Midgard, and it comes out this month. So if you want to have a card game of a game, I don't know how the Reavers of Midgard played, but I can attest to Champions of Midgard. The next 3 games surprised even me. I really thought Rolling Realms was going to be number 1. However, I guarantee you it wasn't. Number 3 was actually Dark Souls. I mean, don't get me started. Oh my gosh, Dark Souls wasn't that good of a game. I think it was a pretty quality game. I actually have a few of my expansions sitting right here. And you'd be surprised. If you actually gave it a shot, definitely use some of the newer rules. The newer rules make it a lot more tolerable, make it a lot more playable, and just an overall better experience with friends or even solo mode. And it's almost kind of mandatory, especially in the game where the deck is so thick and so stacked, and you might be pulling cards you just don't want in general. And if you can't do the thing where like when you buy a card, you look at the top 2 or 3 or whatever it is and choose one to keep, you're gonna have a bad time. So make sure you go ahead and use the V3 fan rules or something like that in the Reddits. You don't have to use all of them. Some of them I believe are too easy. I just use a couple, and you can pick and choose whatever you want. And I heard they actually updated the base game rules to actually make it better as well. But it is a fun dice roll. I really do like the different colored dice with the different colored strengths to it in general. How some abilities give you certain colored dice and certain types of rolling to run away and dodge. I think overall it is a good dice roller. I did not expect that from a Dark Souls game. I had a good time. It is something you do need a solid group for, to actually stand firm and be like, we're going to play Dark Souls, the board game. We're all going to have fun together, no matter the experience with the game. So you have to go into that head first. And you know what? Maybe you might find one of your new favorite games. It is apparently number 3 for my favorite dice roller board games, and I love dice rollers. I went through a lot of games to find out which one was my favorite, and Dark Souls making number 3 was surprising to me. Number 2, we have Rolling Realms. Rolling Realms as an entirety is one of the games I wish I could publish, which is another series we're going to do, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see that series of games I wish I published or thought of first. Rolling Realms is such a unique experience with having 3 primary cards that you're doing kind of like a Sudoku-esque game inside of it. Rolling Realms Redux is inside of that as well. It's such a great thing where I like crossovers entirely, and I believe crossovers don't really exist too much in board games. I know you see the Dice Tower and like half the board games as promo cards in general, but for instance, you don't really see like in Marvel United a DC promo deck or something like that. Now we have DC superheroes that can merge fully, different story entirely. But you don't really see cards like cross-referencing each other. I don't really see Honeybuzz doing a promo for License to Krill or something like that. So my games entirely do want to do more crossovers and promo cards just to be like, hey, let's help out each other. Whichever game grows, let's ascend all of us with it. But Rolling Realms does a great job utilizing other games and their primary features into the cards featured in Rolling Realms. For instance, Scythe's card, I didn't even notice it until my last video. Mike Lugo, we're going over the cards we're playing, and I was teaching him how to play Scythe, and he said, oh, you know, because Scythe, you do the top row action, then you do the bottom row action. I'm like, dude, I didn't even think about that. That is just a great example of what you do in that game. And then there's the cards like Dog Park. Dog Park, you actually have to walk your dog across and try to like get certain items and skip over certain other items. It's ingenious. All the cards are very well themed. Only a few of them have broken my head, but they still do it well, and it's not their fault, it's definitely my fault. For instance, Wonderland's War gave me like severe headaches. And that's just because a certain turn situation, it's not that I wasn't paying attention, it was just I was so focused on the cards. I've never been focused on the turns before. Usually I just glance and be like, okay, I have like, I'm halfway through the game, or like, okay, I have this much. So it's being like, oh, 4th turn, combat phase. 6th turn, combat phase, and then 7, 8, 9. It's not really consistent too much, which makes sense, it's fine. It's, again, not bad. It's definitely my fault more than theirs. But, again, it's so interesting to see Wonderland's War into another board game. I found so many cards, I'm like, oh, I like Wingspan. Let me choose that. Oh, I like Honeybuzz. Let me choose that. I love that Rolling Realms does that, and it just includes, it's such an inclusive space for board games, where everyone's game's represented. It's such a unique area, almost like an MMO crossover for Final Fantasy XIV for the Final Fantasy series. But that's just video game nerd me talking. And I want to preface this before I say number 1. If you've watched my channel, if you know me as a human being, if you haven't met me whatsoever, you should know at least one thing. I am an IP junkie. Anything with my favorite IPs in it, I will play it, I will buy it. I'm not a collector of board games. This is my business. These are all the games we buy and resell. If you want to get some good deals, go to the description of this video right now. Go to our website, gamingcaravan.com. Go to the shop page, and you can buy all these games. These are games I buy and sell. So I don't really collect games in any regard whatsoever, except one, IPs. I have bought so much, specifically video game IPs, but I'm an overall nerd. Anything that has like a comic book IP, video game IP to it, I will buy. Just keep in mind, when I say this next thing, it's a great game, but keep that in mind. Number 1 seems to be my favorite dice roll of all time, Marvel Zombies, hands down. I don't even like co-ops. That's how good of a game it is. I don't even like co-ops, but Marvel Zombies has me infatuated with it. Like, undoubtedly infatuated with it. I played it. I had a copy of it for the longest time. I actually had it before they fully fulfilled, which, just a low-key flex on that point. I don't have anything else besides the basic game. I have the tiles for it and all that stuff. I've played through 3 missions, including the intro, prelude, stuff like that. And I had such a blast with it. Oh my gosh. I've been playing as Iron Man mostly. The range in that game's fantastic. The difficulty makes it feel like it's not even truly almost a co-op. You talk about stuff a lot, but it's not like, I mean, you are working together, but something about that game feels so ruthless. Playing as the zombies itself and going into humans, you still feel like you're not good. You're not like cohesive almost. You're all just doing your own thing. And that's one of the games where collaboration is very impressive. Because most co-ops, you're all doing the same task. Oh, guys, we need to go into this room together and go here. Mansions of Madness does something along those lines where like you split up to go explore the mansion and then you have to recoup. But Marvel Zombies is so organic because even in Mansions of Madness, you're just going through things and flipping over the top tile over and just triggering stuff. You're not actually doing with a purpose. Marvel United, you look at the board and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go over there and open that door. Hey, I'm gonna go over there and try to get that goal. Hey, we should stay with this group, or maybe like we need to split up now. And hey, you tank them as Hulk. It's very interesting, super fun, huge video game IP theme. So many cameos, so many like different kind of people inside of it. So many ways to play. You can play as the heroes, you can play as the villains, or zombies. You can play as other people. There's so many different expansions to it as well. It's just such a creative output. Now I know Zombicide as a whole franchise is apparently pretty good. I played Black Plague, I believe it was, at the CMON Expo 2023. It's good. I played something else as well. They're not bad games. I'm playing Army of the Dead this weekend. I love the Zombicide system, and it's definitely up there for me. But specifically, Zombicide as a whole isn't really up there. Specifically, Marvel Zombies is #1 dice roller board game for me. If you want to see more top 5s, top 10s, go ahead and go to the description. Go in the comments and give me what top 5 you want to hear from me next. Or tell me what your top 5 dice rollers are. I would love to hear what games have you rolling those dice with glee. And don't say like a TTRPG. I mean, it counts technically, but I want to hear your board game suggestions, y'all. If I knew TTRPG was going to be in the mix, I would have said D&D. If you want to support us, go to the description. Go to our shop. We have a Kickstarter coming out soon. It's a dice roller called Sockpile. That's going to be launched in January 2025, and our annual Kickstarter supporting everything we do here at Gaming Caravan, our online community, our in-person community, our monthly board game giveaways, which you can see right now also in the description. Go to gamingcaravan.com, go to our monthly board game section, monthly board game giveaway section, and you'll be able to see the game we're giving away. Right now, we're doing Rolling Realms Redux, but we change it up every single month, just doing a quick, literal 90-second survey. Our average time on there is 90 seconds, so... And we're working on making it even shorter. If you like everything you heard, if you like anything you heard, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 600 subscribers before the end of August, which is in 10 days. But thanks for being part of this. Thanks for coming to the Gaming Caravan. I love talking to y'all, and peace out. Have a great day. God bless. I will see y'all later. Take care.